Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We're at the midway point, so let's get started. Kicking things off, we've got Extreme Venom-Verse, number 5. So, as stated previously, this is an anthology series giving various, showcasing various Venom variants. We've got Jet the Land Shark, Major League Venom, King Pain, and Mobile Walker Venom. So, we start off with the Jet the Land Shark story. Jeff is at Kate Bishop's house, or Kate Bishop's home, and he gets venomized. Kate runs, but it seems that Jeff just wants to play. That's all. And so they play fetch briefly. They then go see a show, and Jeff gets up on stage and, well, Sonic's symbiote, so Venom's freed, and Venom and Kate do some crowd surfing. Next we got Major League Venom. Major League Venom is sports reporter Ed Brock. His cousin, when him and his cousin Richie were kids, they used to sneak into the ballpark and just have fun watching ball games. Richie got a job as a janitor at the park, discovered a lot of the little hidden ins and outs, but he discovered that some of the players were juicing, and what they were juicing with was was basically symbiote matter. Ed goes to investigate. Apparently, an asteroid, or a meteor, hit a tree when he was a kid. Got the Venom symbiote that way. His Venom look is that of a Major League ball player. And he deals with the roided out players and manages to destroy them with fire. At the end of the story, he's approached by Anne Weying, who offers to call him up to the big leagues. Next, we've got King Pain. King Pain takes place is a Venom analog on the Earth 21619, the same Earth that the recent Spider-Man Spider's Shadow miniseries took place, which was a long-form what-if story as what if the symbiote had bonded with Peter. At the end of the series, Peter had seriously messed up Wilson Fisk, and the symbiote invasion had been stopped by the Fantastic Four, though at the cost of Reed Richards' life. Peter Parker, with his identity having been outed over the course of the story, Spider-Man has taken the place of Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four. But the FF are at a benefit gala at Midtown Hospital, and a senator takes Peter to meet some kids that want to see Spidey do some wall crawling. It's actually a trap, as he's being led to the new host of the symbiote, Wilson Fisk, King Pain. Fisk attempts to kill Spider-Man, and he's actually doing the work pretty well, but he's run through by Carnage. who basically says that, hey, you tried, good effort, you just talk too much. And after killing Fisk, Carnage states that maybe when this is all over, he'll switch to destroying all the Spider-Men. Next up, we have Mobile Walker Venom. It's basically Pacific Rim with spider characters. Symbiotes are... You've got giant kaiju symbiotes. Flash Thompson commands a one of the mobile walker in question, and he goes after what's apparently Peter. Manages to take it down, doing a decent amount of damage to the city as a whole. And in the rubble, Gwen and Miles come in their own armors to pick him up. And that is where the story ends. They're all fun, interesting stories. Of course, the Jeff one was a riot because, well, it's Jeff. I like the idea of continuing the stories of the Spider's Shadow universe, and it looks like we'll definitely be seeing Major League Venom again, at least. Anyway, moving on to our next book. I think this may be actually the last issue of Extreme Venom-Verse, because I know that it's been coming out twice monthly, and unless there's a 6th issue coming out either this week or next week, I don't think there's probably not one coming out before Death of the Venom-Verse starts up. So, moving on, like I said, moving on to our next book, though, we've got Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones number 5, wrapping up the miniseries. Where we left off, Gwen and the friendly clones were at the mercy of Dr. Bennett, the mastermind behind the whole thing, and the remaining Gwen clones, who are not so friendly to Gwen. Apparently, Dr. Bennett's entire plan is to not just kill Gwen Stacy on Earth 65, but to kill her the entirety of the multiverse. Gwen and San Gwen are trying to convince the other 3 Gwen clones that they should be working together, but they still have their halos on. So yeah, but San Gwen and Gwen go to save Gwen, and however, the remaining Gwen clones attack them. They're able to remove the halos from the remaining 3 clones, and Bennett activates the device. And when they attempt to stop it, well, turns out that it's there's multiple redundancies throughout. The idea being you smash up one part, well, the backup systems take over. And so Gwen sacrifices herself to seemingly to destroy it. And basically her last word tells Gwen that she's not a villain, but we all have a little bad in us, and who says that's so wrong? The Gwens get together and have a service of sorts for Gwen. Gwen offers to let the rest of them crash with her for a little while so they can get their bearings. But Vulture points out that though appreciative of the offer, wants to figure out who she is, and aside from being a clone of Gwen Stacy. which means getting away from her. Rhino Gwen feels the same way, kind of new Gwen, new life. And even Sandgwen says, yeah, they're right. Then the Mary Janes come back, and apparently MJ's plants died in the care of Gwen, though Gwen does say she has to get MJ to work it. And Gwen basically tells Reed Richards, hey, there are risks that come with me, including the possibility of death. So, I understand if you want me to leave, if you don't want me in your life anymore. And he's just like, no, that's fine. Risk reward. Seems she also manages to, Gwen's managed to make things better with her would-be boyfriend. We get glimpses of the other Gwens. Rhino Gwen is arm wrestling in a bar. Vulture Gwen is seeing the Grand Canyon. Gwen the Hunter is seems to be working as a zookeeper, and Sandgwen has her own apartment. And Gwen has her final reflections, echoing what Gwen said about, we all have a little villain in us, and that's not so bad. And that is where the series ends. And this was honestly a really fun series. I do hope that Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen, whatever nomenclature they're going with, Marvel's going to go with for her. I do hope that she returns in her own book again soon, even if it is just another miniseries. She's a fun character. I don't think I get to when we likely won't see her too much for a while, as the buzz from the Spider-Verse film has somewhat died down. So, moving on to our next book, and away from Marvel at that, for that matter, we've got Something is Killing Children, number 31. Where we left off, Erica had taken Cutter's familiar. She was not happy about this. So Cutter is doing everything she can to turn the to keep everyone against Erica. One of the deputies at the Tribulation police station calls the number that borrows a phone to call a number that from Cutter's business card. But yeah, Cutter's not happy about the fact that her dolly's gone. And she puts on her mask, which whereas Erica wears hers covering the lower half of her face, Cutter wears hers obscuring the upper part. Elsewhere, Erica and her allies are working on their plan with Cutter's dolly trying to pass along information, though Erica's not paying it, is trying to ignore the dolly. But the plan is basically to use Ricky as bait. But Cutter catches up with the deputy trying to call the number from her card, destroying the phone, and seemingly killing him. The dolly does pass along some useful information, though, to Erica that it's not monsters that Cutter likes killing. It's people. In fact, it's what she's good at. However, Cutter and Erica aren't the only members of the Order in tribulation. I can't remember her name, but the head of the house, is there, has shown up as well, to talk to Erica and tell her how to take care of the duplicate type. Though Erica is hard-pressed to not just kill her. However, the offer of taking up. Erica is especially displeased with the fact that she basically killed Big Gary after all. And Erica states that Erica also accuses her of killing Jessica, her mentor, but the leader of the house states that she'll never forgive herself for what happened to Jessica, nor will she forgive Erica. But apparently she's there to talk to Erica about the future, and that is where the issue ends. We were kind of getting the hints that House of Slaughter was kind of playing both sides between Cutter and Erica, to basically kind of see which one comes out on top, and then back the winning horse. So looks like this is definitely the case. Moving on though to our next book, we've got the Nocterra Nemesis special. Where we left off, Sundog Convoy had a plan, but Bill was able to at least connect mentally with Emery, and so Emery has been trying to keep him out of his head because that would betray the plan, and so this issue is largely that. Emery trying to evade Bill's mental probing. The important thing, though, is that Bill does pass along some information about what Nox is. Nox is the first life that ever existed. But he also brings up Nemesis theory, the idea that every star has basically a dark matter opposite. And eventually, once that star burns out, that dark matter opposite takes its place. Apparently it happened on Mars. That's why there are but this theory is why there are so many planets out there that have that seem like they could sustain life, but have no life on them. And though Emery is giving little hints about where they're going, but not actually saying. The now divided convoy are trying to put their plan into motion. However, once Val and Emery arrive at Argus, they discover it's been trashed, and there's shades outside, and Nox is coming, and that is where the issue ends. This was really great. Liam Sharp was definitely the right artist to do this special. His style really works for it. And the art is as good as Sharp's art is as good as it was in Batman Reptilian, but with a better story to go with it. So, anyways, moving on to our last book for the moment, we've got Void Rivals number 2. Where we left off, two pilots from warring groups had crashed on a world. They saw a transformer, and they were trying to get off that, but they decided they were trying to work together and try and get off that world. And they discovered that they're almost they look almost completely alike. Well, almost not completely, more like they're clearly the same people, the same race, kind of thing. But we get some background on this war. The basic idea, it turns out that both pilots were sent to intercept a comet to increase their side's water reserves, which are running dangerously low. And like I said, we do get some background. There were two thriving worlds and an unending war and a dying sun. Civilizations came together, as they must, or perish apart. The salvation would end up being the sacred ring. But basically, old prejudices die hard. And so the Ogorians and Citronians are once again at war. But there's a theory, or there's a prophecy of basically the two coming together. And both of them, our two pilots are beginning, maybe there's some truth to that prophecy. But they work together on making repairs to their combined ship. I think it's not much to look at, but it'll at least get them into orbit. And it works. They get into orbit. And are promptly taken prisoner by a pirate named Skuxoid. And that is where the issue ends. This is definitely interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how this ties into the overall Energon universe as the Energon universe is further explored, which might be a few months, which won't really start for a few more months, but yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Big shout out to Patreon patron Xander Lee. Thank you so much for your support. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.